Footballers, retiring in their 30s, a mix of biology, bright careers, and life beyond the pitch. The image of a weathered footballer hanging up their boots as their 30s approach seems as ingrained in the sport as the offside rule. So why does the twilight of one's playing days tend to coincide with this age bracket? I live in Portland, Oregon, and while it's more known for its forests, rain, and hipster coffee than football, the principles of athletic retirement are universal. The brutality of professional sports. First off, football is a physical onslaught. It's a meat grinder that chews up knees, ankles, and hips. I've jogged in the trails of Forest Park, and believe me, even the gentle hills here remind me of the unrelentingly flat but punishing pitch at Providence Park where the Timbers play. Professionals do this every day at full tilt, with tackles flying in that'd knock the wind out of a mule. Their bodies endure a ceaseless cycle of wear and tear that would shock most desk jockeys into a permanent ice bath. Peak physical performance and decline. Around the late 20s or early 30s, an athlete's body starts whispering treacherous truths. Recovery takes longer. The cuts become less sharp, the sprints more winded. It's biology's bureaucracy, filling out forms to remind you that your peak is a vista you've waved goodbye to. If a career in football is a bell curve, the 30s mark the point where the descent becomes noticeable, with younger, hungrier players ever ready to take your spot. The relentless schedule. Consider the football calendar. It's a marathon of sprints. League games, cup ties, international duties, rinse, repeat. The off-season is a misnomer, often a mere pause, hardly enough to unfurl the cramps and attend to the muscle strains. Bodies need rest, the kind you cannot get with the calendar footballers juggle. Evolving priorities. And then there's life outside the chalked boundaries. Athletes begin to peek over the fence at families growing without them, at kids they've seen more in video calls than in person. Perspective comes into play and your priorities shift. That burning desire to trophy hunt dims when the blaze of family, health, and life beyond football grows brighter. Monetary matters. Consider also the financial runway. A savvy footballer, one who hasn't been dribbling their earnings away, could be set up nicely by their mid-30s. Not to laze about, but to explore new ventures, investments, or passions that the relentless pursuit of football may have kept just out of reach. The wear and tear of what-ifs. Lastly, let's linger on legacy. No player wants to be the once great dragged off the field with sad eyes from the stands. There's grace in bowing out with the crowd still wanting more rather than too late. Bodies bear scars, and minds bear what-ifs. Professional footballers in their 30s are like meticulously maintained classic cars, still capable of roaring down the highway, but perhaps not as resilient to a high-speed chase as they once were. They have given the best years of their athletic lives to the sport, and there comes a time when the next chapter beckons with a gentle but firm insistence that can't be ignored. The roar of the stadium fades, new goals draw the eye, and life, ever the crafty playmaker, sets them up for a shot at something different. So while the fields of Portland might not rival the grand stages of football, the truths about retirement are essentially the same no matter the place. It's about body, mind, opportunity, and the gentle tug of a life waiting to be lived, fully, and perhaps a bit more slowly.